Alright, so you're going to want to start a new program, new project I should say, in Xcode. That comes up, you're going to do single view application, and we'll call this method. You can put anything you want in for organization, your identifiers, whatever you have there. Usually it's com dot whatever your organization is. We'll leave it on iPhone. We'll go next. Save it someplace you like. Create. And there we go. We're going to go into the storyboard. We're going to add button. And label so we can see. Let's connect them. Go in here. View controller H. Some room in here. IBAction. myAction. myLabel. Alright, so now let's look at creating a method. So to create a method, you start with a little minus sign, and we're going to say void because we're not going to return a parameter just yet. And we're going to call this one calculate. We're going to do a simplistic math problem in here. We're going to take in an integer, so we're just going to say int x, and then our second value, called value 2, is going to be an int as well, and we'll call that y. So the format here, you have to say whether it's returning a value or not. We're just making this void, which means it doesn't return anything. Give a name, calling this one calculate, then colon, and you get your first parameter, which is of type int, and the name of it is x. Then you can call this whatever you want. I'm calling it value 2, and colon, and then our next parameter, which is also type int, and I'm calling it y. We'll do a little calculation here. We'll say z equals x plus y. Okay, and the name of our label is myLabel, so we'll do myLabel.text equals, and we got to convert that int to a string so that we can show it on the screen. So we'll say NSString string with format, and we want to convert this from an int, so that's %d, comma, and then z. Oh, just like that. And it's not liking that. Z. Alright, so int z. I'm sorry, I forgot to make that a z. And so now that this should add the x and y together when this is called. So how do we call this? We're going to come in here to start calling a method. You do square brackets, self, because we're in this class, our own class. So we say self. And we're going to say calculate. Give me an int, say 4. Hit the tab sign to get to the next parameter, and we'll say 5, semicolon. So now a 9 should print to the screen when I click my button. Let's see if that works. Here we are, button 9. Perfect. So let's see what that looks like if we were going to have this return a value instead. So let's go, we'll call this NSString This could be an int too, but I'm going to say NSString since I'm going to pass it to myLabel. Right, so I'm going to do inside here. I'm going to say myLabel equals whatever this returns, and now we're just going to say return. Oh. So now instead of making myLabel equal to this, we're returning this line. All right, so that you can use that in multiple ways and store it if you didn't want it to print to the screen. But for right now, we're going to print to the screen then inside the IBAction. So this should have the same effect. 9. Perfect. And if you want, I'll just show you for sake of seeing it. You could have done a different method here that took strings as parameters. This is one that will combine 3 different names and make them into one. And I'll show you what that call would look like. And I will put this code all into the body of the description on my YouTube video. So I'm going to comment that out, and we're going to make oh, I'm sorry. So this name is full name, and I'm going to give this the parameters James J. Jones. And then after we run this, the label should be equal to, we combine these into one string. That's what's going on here. Here we convert it, use the stringWithFormat to convert it from an int to a string. Here we're just combining all the strings into one string. So this should all be one word, should say with no spaces, I might add. Click James J. Jones. All right. So I hope you know this is easy enough to follow along, but it's really not that difficult. And if nobody showed you, though, you'd have no idea how to do it. But this is how you go about creating methods that take parameters and also return values. Right? So you just use the return statement, and if it's not void in here, you have to have a return statement, or you will have an error. This one's void, so there's no return, but we just make the label equal to the string. All right, and whatever these names are, we use in here to combine. All right, let me know if you have any questions. I hope this is helpful.